Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to Wrestle Rock with Rick Connor.
What the F was that entire freaking promo about?
Mark Hallbacher.
She's like the James Ellsworth of women.
And Corey Castle.
I look like Paul London and Brian Kendrick mixed.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Wrestle Rock. Starting super goddamn late, waiting for stupid Corey Castle. Been setting up his laptop for the last 20 minutes. How do you do from home and be late? How are you 20 minutes late where you already are?
I don't really think his computer's broke. I think he's trying to find the perfect sleeveless shirt to wear on the show this week.
Yeah, he'll be joining us in a couple minutes. Lot going on this week. We found out something big about SummerSlam. They're trying to hold it in an outside arena this year. I don't know if they're going to do like a Bash at the Beach type of situation, or if it's going to be, is it going to be on a cruise ship? Or are they just ripping off Jericho's idea? What are they doing here?
The only thing I heard was a rumor, and it I couldn't believe it when I heard it was the cruise ship thing. It's like really like, and then what are you going to try to pretend it was your idea? I haven't heard anything about an arena, and I still don't even understand the logistics of it with everything going on. So,
I don't know.
How are you going to do it? You can't have a crowd, or what are you going to do? Like per box, you can sit like maybe 5 people per like little section. Like every 2 seats, you can put a person. And you at least have some kind of crowd out there, but still they have to go through the lines. They still have to go through all that. So you don't like, how does that work? But I don't, like I said, man, I have not been thrilled about them doing big pay-per-views until this is all over anyway.
We don't know when this is going to end. And if they have to set up little, like, what are those called? Like skyboxes, but for everywhere all across the arena, like you said, they can hold like 5 people in each one. I'm fine with it. It's whatever. This at this point, it's probably going to keep on going like into next year. So as opposed to having zero wrestling, I'll deal with, if they're trying to get a crowd in, or if they're just setting up like an outside ring and just having their usual NXT students. Like if this is what we got, I'll take it, as opposed to zero wrestling at all.
Yeah.
I know it's a big pain in the ass.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to have it because, like they've announced no live shows over a certain amount of people until February of next year. So WWE, AEW, whoever else is trying to do stuff, like they're screwed all the way through till next year. Like there's no escaping it now. So I understand them doing the big shows. It's just I just right now we were talking off air while we were waiting for Corey to figure out what shirt he wanted to wear. We were talking about how like the writing in WWE is so god awful.
Sorry, he just popped up on the stream and he's wearing a sleeveless shirt. What's going on?
Hi.
What's going on, Corey? How you doing?
How's it going? Were you talking smack about my sleeveless shirts?
We're trying to figure out which sleeveless shirt you're going to pick out. Like
the computer was fine. The computer's fine. We were trying to figure out which sleeveless shirt to wear. So,
the computer was totally. I was bluffing.
So we're talking about welcome to the show, and we're talking about we're talking about SummerSlam. They're saying that WWE is trying to hold it outside somewhere, so we don't know if it's going to be a beach. There was a rumor going around that they're going to do a cruise ship. What do you think about all this?
I did read about the cruise ship, but I thought that was all just somebody making a joke. I thought that was a joke.
It could be.
Because I thought that it was. I think it was all a joke about how they were going to have Mankind be the commissioner and have it be called the Dude Love Boat.
That's right.
I thought that was just a joke. I thought that was just a joke somebody wrote on Twitter. I follow this guy on Twitter, and he just like puts a lot of wrestling jokes. His name is James Vanderbeek, not like the real James Vanderbeek. It's like it's spelled different.
The Dawson is putting a wrestling.
The Dawson.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look him up. I enjoy a good wrestling pun. I really do.
Yeah, this dude's really funny. Check him out. It's I'm gonna look it up right now so I can tell you because it's worth mentioning. He's funny.
I don't. Can you invite a bunch of people to an outside wrestling show? I don't see why not. They're doing it with restaurants and stuff. So why not have fans?
If it's on a boat, it's international waters.
Well, I mean, yeah. So legally they can do that, but I mean, if it's on the beach somewhere, or if it's like down by the river, or some whatever, outside Full Sail somewhere,
Well, it's weird because if you know anything about what they think the way the virus spreads, like it would have to be during the day. So watching a wrestling event like in broad daylight, and that how well that's gone over the years.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could think of, like I said, is you can do a stadium and then maybe sit people per seat, and then maybe have it at a quarter capacity. But if no other sport's allowed to do that, so how are they going to get away with it?
Yeah, I don't know. What's baseball doing now? They're starting back up again, but they're doing empty arenas, right?
They're doing the joke we made ages ago.
Yeah, I just heard about that, and I was like, we should get. They were listening to the podcast. They were listening to Wrestle Rock.
They have cardboard. You can pay money to have a cardboard cutout of your face in the stands.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
I think it might be MLB or NBA is also doing the thing with the iPads on the seats.
It's definitely not baseball, so I'm not sure who would be doing that.
Yeah, I heard about that. And I was like, that's Wrestle Rock's idea.
Yeah, we actually said I heard that it was going to be on like a screen, like an LED screen all around the court or whatever, and they were just going to show videos of fans. And I'm like, wow, we definitely said that on Wrestle Rock. I was like, no, nobody can afford to do that, and here we go, NBA's doing it. So you never know. Maybe AEW or WWE is going to adapt one of those things.
That's what I'm thinking.
And then they can say they took it from them and not us.
Yeah. Oh man. So in other news, Zack Ryder showing up on AEW TV. I misplaced his name. Is Matthew something?
Matt Cordana.
Cordana, yeah.
Cordano.
It's another dumb name. Like you had Zack Ryder for years, and now you're going to go to Matt Cardona.
Isn't that his real name, though?
It might be, but it doesn't. If you can pick a different name, what the hell?
Guy's name terrible.
I like it, or that it's good.
It's like just because it's your real name doesn't mean you have to do it. Like Nick Burke sounds like a wrestling name. Matt Cardona sounds like a car salesman.
Corey Castle is not my real name, but my real name doesn't sound like a wrestling name, so I didn't pick it.
That's right. That's the way wrestling works. That's why we have people called Batista, even though that's his real name. Just spelled differently.
It's like Bautista.
Bautista, yes.
Bow.
So, what do you think? Is this going to be something big for AEW, for Zack Ryder, or whatever, Matt Cardona? Is this going to be big for him, or is it going to be more of the same?
I don't think so, because I don't think Matt has the following he did back during the the Internet Champion days.
The Internet Championship, yeah. It would be funny if he brought that belt with him.
Yeah, why not? But the whole thing is I think he's been treated so poorly for so many years. Like they're gonna have to do a serious rebuild on him in AEW to get him anywhere. Just having him come out and be too famous doesn't really do anything for me. And he doesn't shave his chest anymore. That's what I'm supposed to be excited over. Like he did nothing. To me, I mean, he's a good wrestler. I mean, hopefully they do something with him, but I wasn't excited for it at all. I mean,
hopefully for his sake, this will be like Christian's TNA run for him.
Yeah.
Rebirth.
Yeah.
I just think AEW has enough wrestlers already, and they're starting to bring in more. And it's like you're still trying to establish, your Darby Allins and your Orange Cassidys, and now you're going to start bringing in WWE stars. And it's like, well, what are you going to do with those guys? Like, how do you balance all that? And that was the one thing TNA had a serious problem with back in the day. It was like, they would try to like build their Samoa Joes and AJ Styles, and then Kurt Angle would show up. And the next thing you know, the whole thing's about Kurt Angle. So I'm not sure how many of these guys to bring in, but I know Cody's bringing his boys in, which is fine because it's probably easier to work with since they're all friends. But I don't know. We'll see. And, now they can go on Ferris wheels together or whatever they do, roller coasters. That's their thing together when that actually happens again.
Amusement.
Yeah.
My weird thing about Mr. Ryder is what happened to his girlfriend who was supposed to be brought up to Raw? Chelsea Green has just disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know.
She kicked Robert Stone to the curb, and she was supposed to move up to Raw, and I think she was supposed to feud with Charlotte. And I wonder if they squashed that now that Charlotte, is injured.
Well, maybe she got like the Triple H in the Madison Square Garden, the MSG, like that whole cage. Triple H got punished for the actions of Shawn Michaels.
The curtain call?
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep. Yeah, I was wondering, we're getting rid of Zach, so now you're worthless, or what? I don't understand, where that works,
Well, what happened with Chelsea? Was there a curtain call situation with Chelsea?
No,
did she go
Zach
up?
left, and he's in the competition now. So
what? So did Dean Ambrose. Renee Young is still around.
Yeah, but she's not. She's not like an in-ring talent. She's a credible reporter.
I mean, you got Adam Cole and Britt Baker. Like, there's a lot of relationships going on between the two promotions.
I know. It was just weird how she just disappeared because I know that was the thing was they were supposed to call her up the wall.
It was only a theory. Didn't have legs or anything.
Yeah. I'm shooting it down. I'm like, no, you're wrong.
Stop starting rumors, dickhead.
Another thing about AEW that happened last week, we missed a show last week, so we didn't get to talk about it, was Eddie Kingston came on. I don't know if anybody saw this match. He was called out
on Twitter.
Yeah. He was called out by Cody Rhodes. He's doing that open challenge for the TNT championship. I really enjoyed this match, and then I got really, really mad that he got tapped out to a figure four. Eddie Kingston is...
That's not even Cody's move.
Nah, exactly. It's like, when does Cody Rhodes use the figure four? And I understand, like, me and Mark were talking off air about them starting the rumor of reuniting the Four Horsemen, and Cody Rhodes is going to be in there, so he uses the figure four. Okay, that kind of makes sense. But if you're bringing in Eddie Kingston, of all people, like, he's one of those internet darlings, man. Like, anybody knows those indie shows, they cut this big promo beforehand. It's like, if you know your stuff in the indies, then you're going to know who this guy is, and if you don't, you're going to get this big treat. And then Kingston comes out and he cuts this big giant promo, and he's putting everybody down, and it's brilliant. And then he gets in there and he gets tapped out to a figure four leg lock. Like, Ric Flair barely ever did that, to be honest with you. Like, most of the time people kicked out of the figure four.
It wasn't him tapping out to the figure four didn't bother me. It was, why did Cody take the thumbtack bump if he was just going to tap him out 30 seconds later? That was the thing that kind of like caught me off guard. It's like, why would you do that? And then speaking of thumbtacks, Darby Allin with that skateboard and what he did to that kid, that dude, I forgot, Ricky Starks, that screwed up. Like, he ripped his back apart. I never seen it bleeding everywhere. I was like, why would you agree to that?
Like, I don't know, man. That's some straight up indie stuff right there. That's like 2001 CZW type of stuff. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that stuff would go away, but it's back.
Back.
But yeah, it pissed me off that they jobbed out Kofi Kingston. This is another situation of AEW can do no wrong. Like, because WWE did the same thing. Mustafa Ali came back and jobbed out to Bobby Lashley, and everybody exploded. It's like, how dare WWE do that? I'm like, well, AEW just did it. Yeah, that was
that
good.
match was perfect. That was a good match. That 6-man tag match that Bobby Lashley, the Hurt Company, or Pain Business, whatever the thing is called,
something like that.
Hurt Company, Pain Business, whatever it's called. What is it called?
The Hurt.
The Ouchie Corporation.
Oh, I don't know.
MVPs, whatever it's called.
Ouchie Faction. I really like it. I'm not bussing on it. I'm bussing on me for not knowing what it's called.
The thing that blows my mind, everybody has a belt but Bobby Lashley, and he's the star out of the three of them.
I think that's kind of the joke, though, because Benjamin's got the 24/7 title, which nobody really cares about, and then MVP.
I didn't see that him winning that. I just saw him holding it, and I was like, "Whoa, he's the champion now." I didn't see what happened.
It was a real quick thing backstage where he just rolled up R-Truth and got the belt.
The deadly roll up.
Yeah, yes, the most devastating finisher in all professional wrestling. But no, and then MVP's got the United States title that isn't really his.
Right.
It belongs to Apollo Crews, but Apollo Crews is injured. So it's kind of like they have. I'm kind of glad Lashley doesn't have a title, because it's kind of like, we got some belts, but they're not. But not really.
It would be really cool if Orlando. Why am I saying all the names wrong? If Apollo Crews came back and was like, I'm really the United States champion, and he had the old title on him, and he's like, yeah, but you gotta go through me first, and he wrestles Bobby Lashley. Bobby beats him, wins the United States championship, and then MVP's like, and then he's like, well, you got to give that to me now, because I'm actually the United States. Just hand me that belt that you've been holding. That'd be a neat little angle.
I don't know. Would that split up the faction already?
No, but it would just be who's the alpha of the whole thing. That would be sort of like a role, a role sort of dominance sort of establishing.
Yeah, I get it. That'd be kind of cool. I could be into that.
I don't know.
Pritchard will never do it because he sucks. Goddamn Pritchard.
Well,
Pritchard. Here's Pritchard.
Bruce Pritchard.
Oh God,
that old guy.
He's the worst.
Yeah, speaking of bad angles, this was going around a lot this week with Asuka and Sasha Banks. They had that rematch for the Raw Women's Championship. Ended on a count out, which means Banks got the title. Legit. I thought this was great. I thought this was perfect heel stuff. And everybody lost their damn mind and blamed booking. And I don't know. I'm like, that was a heel thing to do. Like, I legitimately felt bad for Kairi Sane getting punked out in the back by Bayley, screaming Asuka's name. Like, I thought that was great. Asuka runs to the back she didn't want to, and she had to. I thought it was good. I legitimately thought it was good. People were more pissed off that it was a count out, but those were the stipulations anyway. Those were the stipulations set last week. What the hell did you think was going to happen? Anytime you can change a title by count out, the title is changing by count out. Otherwise, they wouldn't have the stipulation. So I don't know. I had zero problem with that. I thought it was great. I love Banks and Bayley. I love Asuka.
It's almost like the same match they had with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules, where like the count outs didn't apply to Dolph Ziggler, but they applied to Drew McIntyre. It's just like
it was a lot. That's how it felt to me. It was just like, really, like you have this match. You have the two, like I said, probably the two best females in WWE going at it. They have insane chemistry. Asuka's got her in the lock. Why wouldn't you just have, like, I don't know, have Bayley come down the ringside and distract her or something, instead of like like throwing Kairi Sane into a door over and over again, and that was enough for her to like run to the ring. And then I don't know if you guys noticed this. The ref didn't do a classic 10 count. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're out. Like, and it was it. Like she wasn't even halfway up the ramp, and she was already counted out of the match. It was bad. It was just.
I'll give you the referee point, but the thing is, Kairi Sane, from what I'm hearing, is done officially. Like that was the last. So like she can play it up. Asuka can play it up like, oh, you injured my friend, and she has to retire now, or she's leaving, or whatever. And then you can set up a rematch at SummerSlam. You know, we got the second biggest pay-per-view of the year coming up, and it's like, oh, well, that finished like, yeah, technically you're the champion, but you did it kind of weird. So now you have the heel, or you have the face coming back, pissed as hell, trying to go after the heel. It makes sense to me.
I guess if they do so
yeah, I mean, if you wanted to see like a legitimate finish on Monday Night Raw, like, sorry, that usually doesn't happen with any match. So it's, you know, just wait for the pay-per-view. Of course they're setting up for a pay-per-view. Why wouldn't they be?
Here's my opinion on it. All right. Mm-hmm. Bear with me here for just a minute.
Sure.
It's difficult enough and it's complicated enough to hold people's attention. But then when you complicate it more by adding BS rules onto things, holding their attention is going to be even harder. It's like making braille numbers not 1 dot, 2 dot, and 3 dots. They're like 5 dots for 1, 3 dots for 2. Like it's complicated enough already being blind. Stop making braille so difficult for numbers.
I don't know. I think it's just like
it's just hard to hold attention.
Blind people can't pay attention is what you're saying.
It's just so tough to watch WWE right now because it's like the entire show is roll up, disqualification, count out, roll up, interference, match never finishes, you know, and then you had this match where, like I said, the girls are killing it. Like, great story. Asuka selling the leg, you know, the whole night, and then they go to a video of Bayley. Like, why didn't Bayley drag her outside and beat her up at the top of the ramp? Like, it was just,
not that big.
a lot of it was weak, and that way she could like chase off Bayley and then get counted out. You know, instead of like run into a back where there was no one there anyway because it was probably recorded 3 hours ago. I don't know, man. I just didn't like it. I don't know where they're going, and they tend to treat Asuka like a chump all the time, and it's like, is she a killer or is she a chump? Because they flip flop her personality over and over again. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, they do that.
Something I did like was the stuff they did with Bayley and Nikki Cross on SmackDown. Like, that whole build was cool. I like that. Had to make her fight her friend and beat her friend, and then now it's like, now that Nikki Cross lost that match, and then she pushed Alexa Bliss down, and then the Fiend is involved with Alexa Bliss. What?
That was cool.
That's going to be something neat, I think. Hopefully.
Well, not only that, he finally did something evil. Like, he's always he's always attacking wrestlers 9 times out of 10 none of us care about. So we always end up cheering the Fiend. Mm-hmm. And he went after Alexa Bliss, and pretty much everybody loves Alexa Bliss.
Right.
Like, and then, you know, of course, it's a guy going after a girl, and you know, I thought it was really cool.
Or anything. She's all right.
That was probably my favorite moment all week. I mean, last week the only thing that really, really stood out to me moment wise was Dijakovic being choked out by Killer Cross, and Keith Lee was watching. He just kept saying, "This is on me," and he kept taking the forearms, and he wouldn't let Keith Lee interfere. That was really well done.
Yeah,
but
the
Fiend story. Ooh, I thought it was dope. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it's really rare that in WWE you see a man hit a woman or do anything to a woman physically, and it was really, you know, it was, I'm not going to say it was refreshing. It's like, yeah, finally a man gets to hit a woman, but you know,
equal rights and lefts.
But you know what I mean. I like when they save something for something big like this, so it means more. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be Fiend and Strowman at SummerSlam, because Strowman's that's his chick, kind of.
Well, like she was involved in the swamp match too, the swamp ass death match.
And now everything makes sense, you know, because like you said, that was like Braun's like little crush, and then like her face shows up as Sister Abigail, and now she's being attacked by the Fiend. At least it's so weird how like everything with Bray Wyatt, whether you like how the finishes end up, like his storylines are so much better than anything else on Raw. Because everything ties together, everything has history. Like, why can't we just do this with everybody? Why can't we? Why do we have to have just Grand Metalik show up on Friday night and wrestle AJ Styles?
It was a decent match. There was some weird parts, and you know, I had the same thing to say about the Miz and Big E match. Like, it was a good match. There was just a little bit of awkward parts, but everything else was all right.
Yeah,
we were talking about like WWE right now. Match quality is top notch. The problem is the storylines are so goddamn bad.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like they're definitely piping in more audience noise. Like,
yes,
they're adding that. You can absolutely tell that that's being added in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it.
I don't mind. Honestly, half the time I'm barely paying attention. Like, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. The crowd's the crowd. It's whatever they have. You know, they can try to make it a little better if they want to. Either way, there's like barely anybody there. People are there being paid to cheer or boo. It's like, you know, you can either ignore it or you can hone in on it. If you hone in on it, you're just going to ruin your wrestling watching experience. So it is what it is.
It's like a laugh track in like a bad comedy,
like a sitcom, like a cheesy sitcom, like the dingbat husband got himself into a pickle.
I just think some of the
they should add like the ooze when the little romantic scene happens. Ooh.
I just think sometimes the stuff is forced. Like we're talking about the Fiend, and when if there was a crowd, even before he mandible clawed, Alexa. When he came out, you knew the crowd would have popped just hearing the noise and the music coming, and they were booing immediately. And it's like, oh, you guys, like, stop! This is so forced.
Yeah, it
is
very.
The crowd went nuts to see the Fiend because he hasn't been on television in how many months now? Yeah. And then when he mandible clawed, people might have booed after that, but it was just like it was just really badly done.
Well, it's very clear at that moment that it's not actual fans; it's people who are extras. Yeah, and it's very like there would not be a you effed up chant or a holy shit chant in the Full Sail building, whatever that place is called.
I don't know.
I like how you said yourself for one word.
I think some of the reactions need to be calmed down. And I think they need to be more natural. I think if some of the people are like into like certain wrestlers, they shouldn't be because they're extras. They shouldn't be forced to cheer for who WWE wants them to cheer for. I think they should just cheer. You know, and it'll make it feel a little more natural. You know,
let them be fans. Let them actually go out there and cheer for. You know, like go out there and mark out. Like, why isn't that the only instructions? Like, go out there and be marks. Go out there and just be fans. Like you're all here because you liked wrestling, so go out there and like wrestling. Like, why isn't that the only instruction? Why do you have to cheer for who they want you to cheer for? Like, that's dumb.
That's why AEW works better when they have the crowds, because they're just cheering for who they want to cheer while they're out there. You know, it just sounds natural when the guys are wrestling. You know?
Yeah. Although it's the same thing with the pops with AEW as well, because Zack Ryder showing up on AEW would have gotten a huge pop.
Uh-huh.
It sucks that it did, you know.
Yeah, that's the worst part of it all for him, is because like the fans would have went nuts for him, but the the guys and girls who are already in the locker room or might already know that he was there would just go, wow, this is how they debut him, huh? All right.
Well, see you later.
I'm wondering, did any of you guys hear or watch Talking Shop-A-Mania last night?
No.
I was wondering how that went. So it was basically supposed to be like one giant, like Southpaw wrestling type event yesterday.
That was supposed to be Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Yeah. Everybody was playing like goofy characters, but I didn't know if I was working, so I didn't know if any of you guys saw it or not. I haven't heard any reviews of it, nothing yet. So I wonder if anybody watched it. Probably wouldn't have watched it even if I knew it was happening. And I probably they were trying to convince you it was only $14, but it's like I don't know. That sounds like a lot of money for something I don't really want to watch.
Yeah,
I saw Jericho doing like a promo on it on his Twitter or Instagram or something where he was like, "That jobbers, and he was like trying to crap on them because they weren't like with AEW, so he was just talking crap. It was funny because it's Jericho.
Yeah, they've had a couple solid interviews on their Talking Shop, not interviews, but just explaining what happened to them with WWE. So if you guys want to check their stuff out to see what happened to those guys, it's pretty interesting. And one of them, they have Heath Slater on there, and Heath Slater explains him being removed. So that was actually a really good show.
Are they what are they calling him in TNA now or in Impact? What do they call? Just Heath. That's it.
Just Heath.
He's a candy bar.
Mm-hmm.
Heath Z Bar.
I don't know why they don't call him Heath Miller. I think that's his real name. Miller is his last name.
That's not a bad name, Heath Miller.
They should just call him Keith. Keith Slayer.
Oh god, it is too hard to deal with this.
One thing I wanted to bring up, there's a debate going around on social media, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. Best elbow drop in wrestling. I wanted to put that out there. So they gave the examples of CM Punk and Kairi Sane, but I'm ignoring them because the other two are Shawn Michaels and Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, I was going to say Michaels right away.
Nah, Macho Man.
Michaels. That's what I said. I was thinking, all right, so it's Macho Man. It's got to be Macho Man. But everyone's like, no, man, Michaels looked way better. I barely remember Michaels ever dropping an elbow. I know he did a bunch, but it was always like a transitional move. It was never like I'm dropping an elbow. Hopefully I'll get the 3 count. We'll see. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's the thing, guys. And Macho Man is awesome too. I love it. I'm not bashing that compared to Shawn Michaels, but my generation I was a wrestling fan when Michaels was big, not a big wrestling fan when Macho Man was big.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Right.
And it's not a bad argument because you're looking at two of the best ever, and it's like you're trying to compare who had a better elbow drop. But like you posted,
who was better at doing pins though?
What's that?
Who was better at doing pins?
Rick posted on his Facebook earlier, and I thought that was a better one. Was who had the better power bomb? Yeah, I think hands down Vader had the best one, but
I never liked Sid's power bombs.
No, they were always weird.
They're always either too sloppy or too like
his own looked dangerous.
Everything was just too. Everything with him, and it's funny. Evidenced the most by a match that he had with Michaels. When he had Michaels in like a rear naked or like a chin lock or whatever, and Michaels was like calling spots to him. I'm like, no, if you have him in this, you call the spot.
You don't call the spot.
Right. I was like, Michaels is taking him to school, Jackson.
Another one was Jake Roberts or Arn Anderson for best DDT.
Yeah, I've seen that one a bunch.
Yeah.
I commented on. I think I saw Mike Law post about it, and I was like, Jake's is Jake's is Jake's, and there's no taking away from how Jake's is great. But Arn's was cool with the fake punch, and the guy had to do that, and then he like that was the coolest.
I think they're missing a third, and I think Raven had probably the best DDT I've ever seen. Raven, the way he would just pause and then drop real quick and just hit it perfectly every single time. Like I thought Raven's DDT was like gorgeous. And yeah, Jake the Snake was his mentor, but I just think he did it better than Jake. Yeah. Raven's one of those lost guys where like I hope it doesn't happen, but he seems to almost like fade away how good he really was. Yeah. Because his biggest highlight was ECW, like the beginning of like ECW really blowing up. But he was so good.
What?
I'll see if I can find
the entry theme song.
What's that?
And his forcible entry theme song.
That's a good song. I'm not gonna lie. I used to listen to that song a lot.
Yeah, it was on one of my Spotify playlists.
Yeah. The thing about Arn Anderson's is it always felt like it always felt sloppy, even though it wasn't sloppy. Just the way he kind of twisted with it and kind of like threw his entire body down. I don't know. It always sat kind of weird with me.
Just because Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
Arn was never body. He just looked sloppy all the time. And the man was like chubby and horseshoe bald since he was 16. So
that's a very good point.
Rick, can you name the episode Chubby and Horseshoe Bald, please?
I'm writing that down right now. Since we're already talking about who's the best at what here, why don't we do that with the segment we call Who Wins Wrestling? Who wins wrestling? Blah, 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 blah. Who would like to go first? Does anyone have anything?
Go ahead, Mark.
You can go, Corey. You can go, man.
Oh, I was going to say Big E, man. His first big singles win. Him like having he was like Kofi was like put your meat on my meat or whatever, and like gave him the blessing for being a single star. Like I think Big E's going to be world champion like within the next 6 to 12 months.
I hope there's no one who's like he's a total package type character. So he's a big dude. He can go. He's a talker. Like he's got all the tools to be a world champion. What's
really cool about it is too, like when he can get serious and like turn off the fun guy voice. Yeah. Like you're like, oh crap, clutching the pearls. Oh crap, someone's gonna die. Yeah.
They're already doing the build up. If they continue with it, like they just put him against the Miz this week. They could put him against Morrison next week. The week after that, they could do Corbin, and then just keep on building him up and building him up. I mean, you never know. He could be champion by Royal Rumble time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still got to figure out what is going on with Shorty G. Is he a bad guy now, and now he's finally Chad Gable again, or?
I hope so. I hope so. Like usually someone's a heel when they do this.
I just hope they do something more with him than just him wrestle Matt Riddle and then lose and then he disappears again. So, but the match would be awesome.
That rolling German that he did on Matt Riddle was pretty snug.
Well, that was actually my Who Wins Wrestling, and you guys just talked about it for me, so I don't even have to go.
What was that, Jack Gable?
Mine was going to be Shorty G. I was like, all right, finally he's getting some recognition. He looked great on SmackDown. He's turning heel. Maybe they're going to actually do something with him now. You guys just said all that for me, so awesome.
I like how Baron Corbin paused.
We win wrestling.
I like how Baron Corbin kind of gave him his name back and called him Chad, like showing him like fake respect for him. So like now he feels like someone acknowledged me. I'm going with the Intercontinental Championship as Who Wins Wrestling, because now that they're doing almost like John Cena's Open Challenge with AJ, but now like through a heel perspective, to see guys like Graham and Talik finally wrestle like a guy like AJ, and then hopefully Lindsay Dorado gets to wrestle him next week, which is, one of the rumors they're going to have AJ wrestle Lindsay that. But then I don't know if they're going to push them into that tag match with Shinsuke and Cesaro. But I would really like to see like guys that are underused go up against someone like AJ Styles, and AJ can show you how good these guys really are. And then it's actually giving some kind of credibility back to the belt, to the point where maybe the belt will be important when Daniel Bryan comes back and these two wrestle for the belt again later on. That's what toward.
Yeah.
Can you guys shine a little bit of light on something for me? Because I guess I missed it completely. The Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax situation.
No, I don't understand that at all.
So that didn't make any sense. Shake a fist, make a grimacy face.
So Vince McMahon doesn't like Shayna Baszler, and this is how he's going to get rid of her. He's going to put her in a program with Nia Jax. She gets hurt, and then you won't see her for a while. That's what he's doing.
Okay, so I'm the only one. I'm not the only one who thinks this is not a good move for them to put Baszler against Nia, unless you have Baszler just tap her every time.
I don't know, dude. If they don't do something like, maybe this is possibly a punishment for Nia for hurting Kyrie, and basically Kyrie going, well, I'm hitting the bricks because this ain't worth it, and and then Charlotte's hurt now, and they have nothing for Nia, so maybe they have Baszler tap her out, and then it elevates Baszler.
Well, if they elevated Baszler and then had Ronda come back for a thing, that could be Mania stuff.
Yeah, that'd be super.
I would like to see it.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of Baszler. I think she's unbelievably underutilized in that.
I like her style. I think that she dresses cool. Like when they have her in her regular clothes, I'm like, oh, she dresses cool. I wish I could afford clothes.
Baszler's a badass, man. I love her to death. I want to see more of her. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like Mark said, and Jax just puts her on the shelf because that's what Jax does. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the match on Raw was god awful. Why have a match?
The match actually happened?
They had a brawl, and then the officials broke up that brawl. Then they had a match that ended in count out within the first minute.
So they had 2 countouts on Raw?
Which also adds to the Asuka match and why it was dumb. Because they already had a count out 20, 30 minutes before that.
All right. You made your freaking point. Shut up.
I win.
Me.
All right, man. I think that'll about do it for this episode. Let's get on to the plugs. Corey, what do you got, man?
I want to plug something that I don't really plug that much on here, but I want to make sure I do. Check out Struggling with Socio. It's a really good podcast. And dude, honestly, the last episode was really cool. He had this dude who bought NWA Anarchy and was doing something only. He changed his name. I don't remember. Derek. I don't know. But it was a good episode. It was a good listen. Dude, check out Bruce. That's 15-minute short film that came out 2 weeks ago, and it's like some of the coolest acting stuff I've ever done. Super proud of it. And if you hate it, it only took 15 of your minutes, and I'll give you 15 minutes of my time that you can tell me how you felt about it and tell me how we can all improve. Check out my podcast, Evolving with Corey Castle. New episodes coming every Monday. I just had one drop this Monday from Jeffrey Gurian. He talked about his COVID double pneumonia and the treatment and coming back from it, living in New York City, going to the hospital, the hell of that hospital visit. It's definitely worth your time to check that out. If we're going to get into the whole, the hoax of COVID, you want to get into the medicine that they're using, the whatever the heck that stuff's called. Hydrochloroquine, whatever. He talks about how they gave it to him and it worked. But it's definitely worth your time. Check it out. And, if you like the show, if you like Evolving, if you like Bruce, let us know you exist. Leave us a rating. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe on Rick's YouTube channel so that you check out the live video of these shows every week when we put them out. And sometimes if we take a break, whoops, forgive us. And this quarantine has given us the opportunity now to kind of improve our show, the visual aspect of our show, and it being on YouTube now is more accessible. My show as well. So if you are a more visual person and you like to see us do this and do this and do this, and if you're only just hearing me saying this and this and this, maybe you subscribe to Rick's YouTube channel, and then you'll be able to see it.
Then you'll be able to tell what we're doing.
Yeah. And support your friends who are creating art. And we're all going through hard times. I mean, some of us more than others. So, if you love somebody, reach out to them and tell them that you cherish them. Rick, Mark, I cherish you guys so much, and I thank you for doing this show with me every week.
Oh,
and thanks for loving me, even though you make fun of me all the time.
If I didn't make fun of you, it means I don't like you.
I only make fun of you because I think it's funny.
Yeah. Dude, talk about that when I tweeted something and I texted it to you. I texted you to you after, and I was like, "Is this the best tweet I've ever done?" And you were like, "Maybe."
I don't know. All your tweets are terrible, so I don't know. No. Yeah, so Corey was talking about my YouTube channel. Check it out. It's tinyurl.com/YouTube. Rick Connor, CONNOR. You're going to check out, you're going to see every single RASSLE Rock episode that we've recorded to date, along with some challenge videos. There's a whole bunch of pro wrestling on there. The RASSLE Battle Rock stuff is on there. A whole mess of the watch alongs, I think, are always fantastic. They're always super fun to do and to make and edit down and stuff. If you're a fan of this show and you want some merch for it, go on over to teespring.com/store/rassle-rock. Everything on that site is every single item is all the proceeds go to charity. Is what I was trying to say. I couldn't get that out for some reason. I do it every week. But check out my other podcast that I do with Mark's sister, Karen. It's called It's Something to Do. It's a pop culture podcast. We right now we're going over Reaper episode by episode. It's very good. It was Mark's suggestion. It was it's a very, very fun show. Ray Wise is the man.
Yeah.
A very underrated show. Yeah. And I think that's all I got. Mark, do you have anything this week?
Instagram, wherever. How do you do this?
So over there.
Follow me on Instagram because Twitter sucks. And there are some rumblings. Mr. Robinson talked to me this week about resurrecting the uneducated. So we got to figure out how we're going to do it and what style we're going to do it. And so it's going to take some time because it's Ed. So this may be the first rumbling. It still may take me a year to even get it back on here. But
I will resubscribe in a heartbeat.
We're trying. It's going to be even more pop culture based. I think we're going to be reviewing movies, but I think I'm going to do something more on like what Rick is saying, but not an entire series. I think it'll probably be like pivotal episodes on certain TV shows and stuff like that, and watch those. I got to talk to him. I haven't figured out how he wants to do this yet, but Ed, he throws 45 ideas at me, and I'm supposed to remember all of them and then try to redo the show. So, yeah, we'll see.
Very nice, man. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
That'd be a good. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm prepared to drink that much again, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, maybe you don't have to drink. I mean,
you don't have to drink, but then Ed drinks, and then there's drinks in front of you, and then you drink.
It's more fun to drink.
I still got a whole bottle of rum.
I haven't finished my second bottle of rum yet, guys. This has nothing to do with wrestling or anything like that, but I was searching around because of Nick Burke. I was searching around for Boys to Men songs, And if you're interested at all, Boyz II Men did a lot of cover songs, and they covered Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. So if you ever want to hear Iris, the Goo Goo Dolls version of Iris done by Boyz II Men, and trust me, you do, please go and check that out. It's on YouTube. So look at that. But speaking of Boyz II Men, let's take it out like we always do with Mr. Nick Burke.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Join us again for another episode of Wrestle Rock. This has been Jay Davis speaking.